This week at Hey the Parents, we're digging into the age-old parenting question of, are adults actually supposed to stop doing childish things, or is that just outdated nonsense? Do we embarrass our kids no matter what we do? Probably, because honestly, a ton of grown-ups out there still do the stuff that make them happy when they were kids. Swinging in the playground, drinking chocolate milk, building Lego sets, watching old cartoons, blasting music in the car, whatever keeps us all alive, and so much more. After speaking with friends, it's pretty clear that we're far from alone. We're carefully balancing the scale between fun and cringe and why parents feel the need to act older than they actually feel. Because in Hey the Parents, it's an honest discussion about raising kids. I'm Michael Haidt.
I'm Sarah D.
And I'm Mike Levine.
Kids don't come with a handbook, so we need your help.
Where do babies come from?
Where do you think they come from?
Is this a kissing book?
Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
I learned it by watching you.
There are no rules in this house. Not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We sent them to the best boarding schools. We hired the best nannies. We did everything right. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
No drinking, no drugs, no kissing, no tattoos, no piercings, no ritual animal slaughters of any kind.
Together, we can rule the galaxy's far from sun.
This is Hey Other Parents, an honest, messy, imperfect show for raising kids.
Hey, welcome back. It's us again.
What's up?
Hello. Hello to my friends. Hello, guys. Hello. Happy Sunday earlies.
Yeah, Sunday vibes.
So we're back. We're back for season 4, baby. So we're so glad that you're here to hang out with us as we figure out this parenting thing on season 4 of Hey the Parents. We took a little break, but we're back as promised. Whether you're in the car, folding laundry, cooking dinner, getting organized on the go, doing Black Friday shopping, or returning things to Target, we know that you have a lot of choices for podcasts out there, so thank you for listening to ours. We'd like to send a big welcome to our new moms and dads listening, and a hearty hello to the returning listeners who are back with us for yet another season of this podcast. So if this is the first time joining us in this podcast, Hey the Parents, it is a chance for a few of us parents who decided that we needed to join our efforts together and try to get through this thing, this raising kids, as we call it, a survival course. We pick a different theme, we pick a different topic each week, where we discuss it from the standpoint of when we were younger, growing up with our own parents, and then we shift that over to now as adults, where we certainly did not get a handbook with our own kids. We talk about what we go through, and we share some of our experiences, and of course, we learn from each other, and every week we feel a little bit better because we have each other, we have all of you. So we've loved to hear from you guys for this season. This, of course, is the theme of the episode. The question this week is, what's the one thing that you do that makes you feel young at heart? No judgment here. If you'd like to answer this question, have comments, questions for the show, you can get in touch with us in one of 3 ways. 1, you can leave a message on the Hey the Parents voicemail line. 2, you can email the show. Or 3, you can join us on social media. All that information is in the show notes. Why not pause the episode right now and tell us about the thing that you do as you put down your spoon for your Cocoa Puffs. So before we jump right in, of course, I want to tell you, I think we kind of like this flow of the show. We're going to do another 10 episodes for season 4. Then we're going to take a little time off, like 3 weeks, whatever it is, 4 weeks, and then we'll come back for season 5. And of course, as we get closer to the end of the season, we'll tell you what the dates are going to be again. So keep those emails and ideas coming, and we look forward to making more shows, of course, for you guys. So let's jump into today's podcast. Sarah, what are we talking about today?
Okay, so I think the topic we're talking about today is, as parents, are we supposed to leave our childish things behind and be these responsible adults and model citizens for our children?
No.
Oh, Levine's already like, no, I'm not going to stop acting childish.
Or do we still hang on to our inner child and show our children how to balance being an adult and creating some joy for ourselves?
I love this because like we have these ideas for episodes, and you know how it goes. I mean, you probably have like a backlog of ideas. We're like, that's not a good idea. But we were doing this. We were talking about it. There was an article that we were talking about probably like in season 2 about learning to play piano when there's no recital. And this is a really cool article. We talked about it. I think it was one of my One More Things. And it was an article on Gawker about this woman who she had all these hobbies, and it was always like, if she didn't want to do it, her parents were like, it's fine, like quit soccer, quit softball, quit art, quit whatever it was. And she would go on to the next thing. And then the one thing that her parents said that like you might regret it someday is quitting piano. And then years and years and years later, she's a blogger from Gawker, writing all these great articles. And one of her blog posts was about like her friend who was like, what are you doing to be more creative this year? And basically the gist of the article is like she was initially like taken back. She's like, I'm creative all the time. I write, I'm a blogger. I do all this stuff. And then she was like, you know what? I kind of want to learn to play piano like I did when I was younger. And it was the experience of like sitting with a piano teacher when there's like 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds going into like their private lessons before you and after you. And you're like the older person going in, and just being okay with it and learning to play for yourself when there's never actually an end result. So it kind of got us thinking like, it would be really cool just to like talk about that. What is that feeling like when you have things and hobbies and things that maybe you feel isn't the social norm for you to do as an adult? And then there's always like the Goldie Hawn aspect of this woman who's like famous, obviously from different movies, who kind of has made several comments in interviews and years about like how she stays young. And one of the things she said was doing something young and fun every day. And I know that one of our podcast hosts here, Mike Levine, Batman does something young and fun every day. Mike Levine, how do you feel about this whole thing?
You know, this whole thing makes me think about the movie Step Brothers. You ever see the movie Step
That
Brothers?
is not where I thought you were going to go with this.
And the reason why I say that is because, like, at the end of the movie, like the father's talking like to the kids and you know, to the adults, and he's talking about how he was telling his son that he's got to grow up and stop being a dinosaur because he acted like a dinosaur. And oh my god, this
okay, I see how this might relate.
You know, so I think about that because you know, we want our kids to grow up, and we want our kids to kind of be responsible and do all these things, but we also don't want them to lose like that childhood like love for things, you know. And you know, with me, like, I love Star Wars action figures still. I'm gonna be like a 40-year-old man playing with Star Wars action figures, and I love that. I love that about myself. I love that about, you know, adults, that we have something to tap into our childhood, to collect. You know, I think you need that, and it helps out as your child grows older too. Like, there's been many times like where my son has, you know, run into some issues with his friends, or even, you know, nothing yet with Ellie, but I'm sure, and Hayden, but I'm sure things will happen. And, you know, he still loves his action figures, and his friends are kind of growing up, and, you know, they're getting into like girls and things like that, you know, and I see him playing with his action figures and his dinosaur action figures, and I love that aspect of him, that he's still able to tap into his childhood, but I think he feels like pressured, maybe like, oh, do I still need to, you know, can I still play with these things, or do I have to like grow up a little bit, you know? And why do we have to lose that at all? You know what I mean? Why can't we just have both? And that's why it makes me think about that Step Brothers quote, where he's like, never lose your dinosaur. So like, I kind of take that, and I learned it from a movie, and it's funny because it was a funny movie in Step Brothers, if you've ever seen it. But, you know, he's just talking about how he feels bad that he told his son to lose his dinosaur and to grow up. And I think we can grow up, but not lose our dinosaur. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that.
Not expecting you to take a movie like that and turn it into something that's actually heartfelt. How does he do that, Sarah?
I don't know. You know, Levine, almost a nugget of like, I love it.
You know, it was, I don't know. It just resonated for me. Like, I was laughing hardcore when I saw that movie, and I would never expect to take anything, you know, of value from a movie like that, for, you know, because I was just looking to be entertained. But, you know, it really hit home with me, because, you know, those things help out. Like, when you're just growing up, you're trying to be responsible, you're trying to get your life together, you know, but there's a part of you, you know, that's still a child at heart, and you should never lose that child. And it's hard sometimes in the process of growing up, you know, that you're like, oh, you know, you want to play with your dinosaurs, but you can't.
Right.
I picture Mike Levine sitting on a log with like Lucas, like a scene, like they're sitting there like from behind, and you're like skipping rocks, and Mike Levine turns to him and is like, Lucas, never lose your dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
it.
it.
So look it up. It's really cool. It's really cool. If you haven't seen the movie Step Brothers, you know, at the end, it's the guy the father's, making a show of it and it's funny, but it was something of value to me for sure.
No, but that was great. I love it. I mean, like, I think that's the thing. I think we're so conditioned that like we have to be mature and like, like maybe as we get older, it's like, okay, you don't play with dinosaurs anymore, but now you like, collect makeup or something else. Like, like you kind of like find like more age appropriate things. But I think there's something to be said, like still trying to keep that wonder or like, like the phrase, like be a lifelong learner. Like, like just to always kind of still be amazed by the little things in life. I think that's what I think when I think being like childish is at times as well. It's like, like, yes, playing with like your dinosaurs or your action figures or still collecting things that, interest you since you were younger, and like, or like I still play Pokemon, like, like that's still my jam. I love it. I really, and I really started because I loved Pokemon when I was younger. And then my kids started playing the game. I was like, oh, this is great. But like, I still like love it. And I still like make time to sit and organize my Pokemon. And if I need like, like
I love it.
Which need to go to the Pokemon grinder and which ones stay. But like, I think there's something still about like still being amazed by the world, like, like by nature or by like other people or just to take joy, like, because I think when you're little and you're like 3 years old, you just like everything is like amazing. It's like, wow, look at that. And oh, that's so cool. I think there's something about still trying to like hang on to that a little bit is good.
And you know what, Sarah, too, just to add on to that, and what I was saying before is, and I don't know if I finished saying the thought on it, but like the fact that you're hanging on to it and it shows like your children how strongly you feel about something, and no matter what people say or do, it's not going to change who you are towards that thing. Like, for instance, me and Star Wars, right? Like, I love Star Wars. When I was a kid, kids would make fun of me all the time, all the jocks of the sport, like they call me a nerd of the school or things like that. And then I would walk around with like my Star Wars ships, and people are like, aren't you a little old for that? And what I was saying before was with Lucas, there was issues with him with some of the things that he liked and Fortnite and all these other things, and his friends were kind of making, comments here and there. And it was so good that I was able to show him like, hey, look, dad's like this old guy. I still collect Star Wars figures. I have them everywhere. It doesn't matter what people say to me or not. They're not going to change what I love in life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it was a good kind of like example that I could kind of like pass down to my kids, no matter what people say or do or how they feel about what you love, it doesn't change who I am or what I want or what I love,
I think like something you're bringing up is like interesting that, as you're talking about this, I feel like there's also like a mixture of things going on too. Like there's like the nostalgia factor in some ways where some people like sort of like kind of hang on to the things from when they were a kid. And then there's the aspect of just like embracing wanting to like do shit. Oops. Yeah. Do stuff. And like, I think I got our first curse and hey, the parents. Yeah. I'm keeping it in there. I'm going to bleep over it. I feel like there's something like that's funny because like, it's not just necessarily one or the other, because like Sarah was talking about the stuff that like, I think like Sarah and I were joking around because like when we switched hosts and hey, the parents, and there was one episode, Mike, where this was years ago, I don't remember. Sarah and I were like doing the podcast and we were talking about food, but we never got to it. We started talking about Pokemon and we were talking about Pokemon Go for like, I think it must have been a half an hour. We should probably get into the food part. And we're like, I think we were both started getting to Pokemon Go at the time because I didn't know jack about it. And it was just like, we're like, you know what? This is great. But I think like all this was going on and you and I played like online games. I think there was like always this aspect of like, what do they call them? And like, listen to like video game podcasts, they call them normies. Like when people that are like not into those things and they're just like regular people, like whatever else, like people that aren't like, freaks about like liking certain things. I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like you sort of like have that moment where like, like you and I would be geeking out about World of Warcraft, and then somebody be walking by and be like, and then, like, would you lower your voice? Would you be a little bit like, all right, I guess maybe should we be talking about this? But like, you know what? When you're into something, I think people sense that energy and like your initial feeling of like, what will people think of it? And then as like, you're like, what the hell? Who cares? And then you start keep talking about the thing that you're into, and all of a sudden, like they know that you're really passionate about that thing, and it's sort of like it doesn't matter, And I think that's something that, from another perspective, I'm curious what you guys think. Like when you, and I kind of, I already think I know the answer to this, but I think like when you surround yourselves with people, and maybe it even gets harder as you're older, because like when you're, when you become friends with other adults, you're typically, if you have a significant other or you're married or whatever, you usually make friends with couples typically, unless you're going out like on your own. So like you have to find, it's so hard. Like we talked about, like, it's like almost like dating other adults. You got to like find that like companionship with like both partners. Yes. And sometimes it's hard because like when one of the parents is kind of a dud, then like, or like they're not into anything that you're into, and that's okay. I'm sure that I'm not the only one that feels that way. I'm sure that like another parent might be like, oh, this dude doesn't like sports. Like, what could I possibly talk to him about? But like, it's funny because when you're into like, I'm like ADHD when it comes to hobbies. Like at least like find something that you have some sort of like syncing up with. And sometimes you do feel like you're into like sort of like these younger themed hobbies and things, and you feel maybe that like you're like, oh well, this is not going to work out long term. Do you guys encounter that? Like, Sarah, do you feel like that happens sometimes when you're into certain things, you have to almost switch off your kid side and go into like adult mode?
Yes. Yeah, I think sometimes, like feeling like I think there are times that I'm kind of like not as worldly with like the politics and stuff like that. So I'm like, la la la, like I'm like, let's talk about
your
like,
la la las.
like I'm like, did you guys see that really funny cat video? And then it's like, oh, politics, yes.
I'm gonna text my friends. Yes, I have.
Yes. So it definitely is like sometimes like having to like switch into like different modes of being like an adult and like being, like just keeping like my interests or like what fascinates me or things of that nature, oh
my God.
But like it just like it's also like I think it's good like because like sometimes like I think because like my kids are like they're really into like politics, like say for example, like they're really into it, and like there's times like Juju's like schooling me on stuff. I'm like, really? Is that what we're supposed to be thinking right now? Like, awesome, thanks for sharing. Like, but it's like I think there's a level of like vulnerability that you're showing with your child. Like I don't have all the answers, and like I may not be necessarily interested in a certain level of like worldly things, like or like government stuff in this moment, and like let them be like the ones teaching us, or like there's nothing wrong with that, or saying like, hey, I really don't have the answers for things like that, like like let's figure it out together, or if you're into it, like let me hear it.
What's crazy is like I don't even think about this, but I know that obviously there's like there's an aspect to it that's of course like a racial aspect about code switching. That's not what I'm referring to, but like in a way, I think like as grown-ups, I feel like we're sort of like sometimes we feel this need to be like chameleons and switching to like who we're talking to and how we're acting, and I feel like at a certain point, like it almost like we joke around sometimes about like once we got to 40, it was like rolling into the pit stop and changing everything up. But like the thing that I think that I also started to realize is like, I don't know, like who maybe inspired me to do this or whatever. Like I just stopped doing any of that. And I feel like whoever I talk to, whatever I'm doing, I'm the same person at home, at work. I don't change who I am anymore. I mean, obviously, there's circumstances where you change your tone and you're talking to people, but I feel like I'm much more consistent with who I am, whatever I'm doing. And if I'm into some geeky hobby, I am into it. And if you don't like it, cool. Maybe you'll be into it after we're done with our conversation. I don't know. But I feel like that's something that maybe comes with age. And I know that we joke around sometimes about like, when we get older, oh my God, when we get to the age where like you really have no filter, we're all going to be in trouble. But I feel like there's something to be said about that consistency and just kind of being who you are and not feeling that need to adapt.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Like, I feel as I'm getting older, I'm becoming less adaptable.
Oh, you're curmudgeon-y, Levine. I like that how Levine's like younger than both of us, and he's like, I'm old now. I'm like, you shut your mouth.
Nah, just like not, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean like, hey, this is who I am, and this is what I like to do. Whether you like me or not, it is what it is. But like, this is, like, I don't know. I got too many things going on in life. I'm a parent of 3 kids. I'm working. I'm doing here. I'm doing so many other things, and it's just like, not that you don't have time for friends, right? We always try to make time for our close friends and things like that. But just, you just got so many things going on, and it's like you don't want to not appease. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's just basically what I'm trying to say is I am who I am, whether you like me or not. It is what it is.
It's like Popeye. But I feel like the difference though is that you're okay. What you're saying, I think what you're saying. I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like what you're saying is not the right vibe of what you're trying to get across, because I think you're not. It's not. I don't, for you, you tell me I'm wrong. I don't think that you're just set in your ways, because the thing is like you're you, but you're also the kind of person that like Sarah had mentioned before, like you're curious, like you'll do other things. You'll try new things. It doesn't matter. Like that's the part you're leaving out, I think.
Yeah. I don't want people to think like I'm not going to not try things or do, I will, if somebody wants to go bowling and I don't like bowling, I'll go bowling. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's it. Mike Levine showing how he's young because he goes bowling, everybody.
Yeah. It's just, I don't want to pretend that I don't like Star Wars so that somebody could like me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
We all went through middle school. We all went through high school. Like we're not, not going back, man.
That's the perfect analogy. Yeah, right? Like we've all went through all that. We're not in middle school or high school anymore. We're adults. I like Star Wars. If you don't like that I like Star Wars, it's okay.
Listen, man, when I was younger and I got my hands on a copy of Weezer the Blue Album, and I'm like, this guy, he could be a geek. He could do whatever he wants. He could be in his basement playing D&D, and he writes songs about it. He's getting it.
That's why. See, that's why you and I best friends. That's why you get me.
You get me, buddy. Friends. Yeah, exactly, man. Are you kidding me? Love you guys.
And you too, Sarah. Of course.
Well, that was a second-handed compliment.
I know. And you
only because you changed. You helped me find my thought in what I was saying.
I love it. That's why you got it. You got a sticker. But I think like some of the things that like. Maybe it comes back to like, growing up and like seeing our parents, because I feel like when I was younger, I feel like my mom was probably a little bit more inclined to be kind of young and silly with doing things. She showed me we can walk up to Taco Bell and eat tacos. That's great. But like, that was just like her personality, like going outside and playing silly games, like, like throwing the ball and flipping the coin over. I don't know. But like, it's just called hanging out with your child. But the thing is, I feel like that, there's something, about that. But I remember like this distinct feeling of like the cringiness of like, when my mom would like listen to music that was on the radio, and I'd be like, "Oh, you do that CD?" I'm like, "Do you really do that CD? Do we need to have that with you having it?" And it was like that weird feeling, because I think she was also like the disciplinarian during the week too, because she was like she'd come home from work when I was younger and doing homework and stuff. But I think like there's definitely, I remember that feeling. But I remember seeing my sister is the one that really comes to mind because of like, that embarrassment level of like parents. And like, remember, like they would go to the mall. My sister would walk like 10 feet ahead of my mom and stuff. And it would be like that whole thing. But, I think that's probably not necessarily what we're talking about this episode. But there's definitely like a mixture of those two things of like finding your independence and also like, the mix of the hobbies. When maybe a lot of it more is just the finding your independence part than it is what your parents are actually into. Like they would embarrass you no matter what. Do you guys feel like that? Like when you were growing up, like Mike, what about you? Did you feel like this this feeling of like, you know, remembering how your parents were?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my mom, she, can I say, was she embarrassing at some points? Yes.
Are you gonna answer everything with a question? Do I say that she embarrasses me still? Yes, I do. Do I?
Does she still embarrass me at some points now
man.
that, you know, I'm almost 40? Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Props. Sorry, Mom.
You know, love you, Mom. Yeah, well. But when I was younger, you know, dealing with situations with your parents, I guess they were always cringe moments, but that's something that always kind of made me wonder as like, what is cringe? Because my kids use it to me all the time. They call me cringe sometimes when I do like, so for instance, I'm not cringe now I'm telling the world that I'm like this cringy parent.
Yeah, you don't ever say you're not, because you gotta like,
Okay.
you know.
I know. I
there's
say
more.
when you say you're not, then that means. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you say, see,
Yeah.
now I'm saying it wrong, and now my
flag on the
daughter
play.
listening will probably even call me more cringy.
Right.
But like, for
Oh,
instance,
your daughter listens. That's awesome. Congratulations.
One day she'll listen, I guess. But like with the whole cheer thing, right? So I was helping her out with her cheer moves, and like I would do the cheer moves with her, and she'd be like, "Dad, that's cringe." And I'm like, "Come on, I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to be cringe, you know?"
Right.
But I guess we don't realize that, you know, just like when I was younger, I didn't realize what my mom was doing, and I would say it was awkward or some type of weirdness, you know. But I don't know. I just, this whole cringe thing and awkwardness, I mean, we're just trying to help.
You know,
That's
I
how
respect
see
that.
it.
Why don't we talk about
That's
some of
how
the things we
I
do
see
for
it.
ourselves? What are the things that we do that maybe our like-minded listeners will say, I do that too. Let's get some things out there, because this is important. We talked about collectibles, right? We talked about, you know, Mike Levine's got his serious Star Wars lightsaber collection, which is helpful that Taylor's on board, or at least she seems to be.
Yes.
Maybe she's got a bigger collection herself. We don't know. I mean, Sarah, what you know? I think you mentioned cartoons.
Yes, I love watching cartoons. That is like my guilty pleasure. Like anything, like, and it really, it was one of those things I have kind of like Levine was mentioning, like how you miss certain things. So
Yes.
when you know, like you become a teenager, you become a young adult, you like you don't have time to watch cartoons, things of that nature, unless it's like a Disney, you know, like Pixar or whatever. I always watch, but when the kids came, you know, like I had kids, and then they started watching their cartoons, and then it was just like now when I'm kind of bored or folding laundry, like I'll put on one of my cartoons that they've like put me onto, you know, like Teen Titans Go or World of Gumball.
Yes.
I
That's
love
awesome.
like, and of course any of like the more inappropriate ones like you find on Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, but I love
Big
anything
mouth.
animation.
Pretty
Like that
mouth.
is like just such a guilty pleasure. Like I am so into it. Like Moana is my favorite Disney movie. Like I will watch at any point, you know, like that it's on. Now with tis the season. So with the, you know, Christmas season here, like I'll watch like the old school. Remember like the stop animation, like Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah. Like
You know,
all the ones that are kind of like loosely like the elf kind of makes fun of, kind of like those
like the claymation type
Yeah,
things?
the claymation. I love
like
those.
Frosty the
Like,
Snowman and
Yeah.
so like today, like I'll just finish up decorating the house. I'll put that on or whatever and watch it. It just like it's something about it that just, I don't know. It just feels like it just fills my heart with joy watching cartoons. You know,
That's your
I
dinosaur.
love it.
It's my
That's your
dinosaur. Totally into it.
But I
And
love
I
that
feel
Sarah
like-
brings up the idea of that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Finish your
I'm
thought.
sorry. And I feel like SpongeBob, if you really, really listen to SpongeBob, there are some nuggets, just like, you know, Don't Lose Your Dinosaur. He really be dropping some knowledge on us. I'm telling you. Watch
How many seasons of SpongeBob are there now?
5 bazillion trillion ones. I forget.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I
There's
never really
definitely a
watched.
lot.
I start watching now.
Oh, you
See,
should.
I feel like SpongeBob is the older Bluey, you know?
That's a wild statement.
I think so. I don't know if
I'm not
it's that
sure.
educational.
I just remember a bunch of kids in college that didn't go to class and watched that and then went to IHOP. So there were some things that happened in between those things, I would assume. But yeah.
Listen, there may not have been as many nuggets, but
less nuggets.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less nuggets. More nugs and less nuggets. I feel like there's also there's things like, you know, like maybe the way you dress too, right? Like maybe you know, if you love Doc Martens or whatever it is, you know, keep on wearing them, man, or whatever else, or the way you do your hair, or whatever, you know, it doesn't have to be like to the side and, you know, fit in a certain way. You can
off to the side. Are you speaking from experience?
Yeah, no. I think too is like, you know, I feel like there's a certain point where like, you know, you see some people like stop wearing like t-shirts with like, you know, movie quotes or things they love or like bands they like, yeah, why stop doing that? And lastly, you know, I feel like, listen, if you stopped eating kids cereal, what happened to you? Where did it all go wrong? Who hurt you? I feel like having a big old bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch in front of the TV, that's how you live life, man.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like Captain
you?
Crunch or
I love that.
Or Fruit Loops. Although, you know, I have to eat more fruit than more loops nowadays. But fruit.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I heard if you put chop up some strawberries in the Fruit Loops, it actually negates the sugar. Like, you know.
Oh, really?
It's like you just made like one of the Starbucks. I said, one of those like drinks that have like the fruit at the bottom.
Yep.
Because that's what every kid wants. Put some strawberries in their Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
I'm gonna match this with a fruit. Good thing no fruit would fit into. There's no cinnamon fruit for my Cinnamon Toast Crunch. What about some of the things that maybe you feel like do embarrass your kids? Are there certain things like maybe when you're in the car or you're driving or when they're with their friends?
Oh God, like I know the singing. Even though the other day I was like, I didn't mean to, like, you know, because I have to behave like in the car because like my daughter Sophia's like, do you have to sing every time? And I'm like, yes, actually I do. And I know it's off key. Like I know it's terrible. Okay, but you know, but when she has the friends in the car, you know, because we got to be cool and like, you know, like not embarrassing. Yeah. The other day I was like totally like singing, and I didn't realize I was. And her friend in the back seat, Marissa, thank you, Marissa, told Sophia, she was like, Sophie, we're all singing. She's like, you're not going to join us? And Sophia's like, no. And I was like, oh, Marissa. I was like, I didn't realize I was singing. I was like, but we were just having like a duet. It was like amazing.
That's
she
awesome.
could actually sing. I could not. So, you know, she was carrying us in our concert in the car.
I love that. Sometimes like I'll have like, you know, like ska punk on and be like, what is this? You know, but I feel like no one really appreciates Less Than Jake like I do in the house. But there's something about I feel like when your kids are, do you find this? Okay, I think we probably talked about this before, but like I feel like your kid could be there with a group of their friends and like you could easily feel how they're embarrassed. Their friends do not mind. They're having fun with you, and like you have to take a few minutes for them to realize that everything's got like kind of fine, and like it's usually like one kid is embarrassed by their own parent, and then the group of friends could care less. Like they're talking to you, they don't care, but the way that they perceive it is so different. It's crazy.
Yes,
and you need their friend to be like you said, like you need like the friend to be like, come on, loser, like come on, we're having fun here. Why are you acting this way?
Exactly. No, I love that. Like, you know, like Gene, because you know, Gene loves an audience, and he's like so like he's funny and like he's charming and everything like that. But there definitely was a time with Sophia and like her friends where I was like, okay, Gene, like you just gotta like, they're not here for you. Like they don't want to hear your dad jokes. Let's go. And he's like, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. And I'm like, no.
He's like, my friends are here for my play date. Like,
right.
no.
Gene, Gene's just like, he'll just ask like the questions, like,
I know,
make a
I love it. He's
joke
so
and things
funny.
like that. And I'm just like, no. I'm like, read the rooms, like just go. And he's like, okay, I'll leave now. I'm like,
but that was my warm up. I didn't get to my good jokes yet.
I know. Meanwhile, I'm like, you're hysterical, but they're not finding it, and nor is your daughter. But now I think
he's like, you've heard my jokes already, Sarah.
Right. But I think now that I think also it comes with age, because I think that was like middle school. And so like I know like all the friends too were like looking at him like, what is he doing here? But I think now like they're more mature and like they can like see that you're just being goofy, and you're not just being like whatever. So like now I see like a tie where like now like the friends will engage with him and things of that nature, and Sophia's like not like deathly embarrassed anymore by him. So I think that comes also to maturity, you know.
That's cool. But I think like they see, maybe like she sees that like that they're happy and comfortable at your house, and maybe like that's maybe she's more aware of that now.
Yeah, I think so too. And then I think middle school is really that quintessential time also that you're uncomfortable with who you are. So you think everyone's uncomfortable with who they are and like and all that perception. And I think now in high school, there's still obviously some level of that, but I think like you said, like they're like, oh, my friends are enjoying this. Like, okay, like I know them better. And if they don't like my weird dad, then like maybe we shouldn't be good friends. And you know, like that's not a fit, you know? So
yeah, I love that.
I think there's a certain level of embarrassment that is just like it's written in the rules of parents, right? That it's gonna happen,
right?
You know, and I think the kids understand that when they get older. But when they're younger, you know, they're like, oh, like you said, this is embarrassing. But their friends love it, and they'll remember you for it too. Like at least I think so. Like, oh, remember when Dad used to tell jokes, or remember when Mom used to sing in the car, and you know how embarrassing it was. But it's like those memories that are created are just funny that they'll remember when they get older. You know. They may not be funny now,
right?
But I think they'll appreciate it when they get older.
Gene funny now.
Yeah, right. Gene is funny.
Funny, okay. All right, why don't we look at a couple random ones and we'll decide if they are rapid fire, cringe, or young and fun. You guys ready?
Ooh, is this like a game? I like this.
Yeah, I have a short list, but I don't know if I have enough. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Jumping on a pile of leaves, crunching leaves.
Wait.
Fun.
What's the two options? Cringe or what?
Fun or
cringe,
fun
or
cringe?
young and fun.
Okay. Fun.
Okay. Binging cartoons.
Fun.
Staying loyal to kid foods like chocolate milk and animal crackers and things like that. Fun. Listen up, Dino Nuggets. It's just because it's your regular routine. You don't even know anymore.
Right.
Maybe a mix. Blasting music at red lights.
Fun.
That's fun, yeah.
All right, Lego therapy. Obviously fun. They're selling $500 sets.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Okay. I'm like trying to figure out what's Lego therapy.
You know, therapy through building, man. The shopping cart
definitely.
scooter derby. I guess like riding your shopping cart across a parking lot. It's kind of insane. I don't know if it's a great idea.
Cringe.
That may be a little weird.
Cringe.
That's
Yes.
a little cringe.
Yeah, cringe.
Yeah.
And I'm also like my mother's side is like dangerous as well.
Carmen's like,
Yeah.
The kids could do it. You can't do
the video games well into our 40s.
Oh,
Fun.
yeah.
Fun.
That's so fun.
Bringing Capri Sun and Lunchables with you to work.
Cringe.
I think it's a little cringe.
little cringe.
Yeah, weird. Wine o'clock t-shirts. Cringe.
You
know,
cringe.
Call it cringe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can have wine at 4 o'clock. We do your thing, but like wearing the shirts that say it, I don't know.
Yeah, cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's promote that we're gonna go get drunk.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Let's see. Swinging on the playground, having fun, or a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Fun.
Wait, swinging on the playground.
Fun, like going like playgrounds, like you know, going on the swing sets and stuff.
As long as
I
not
don't
pushing
mean like,
kids
I
off
don't mean like
the-
you're a monkey hanging from the handlebars, but like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Usually with your kids, because you might look like a little bit of a creep. If
Yeah,
you're
no, I
like,
think
you
that's
know,
illegal to be by
That's what
yourself
I was.
at the
I was gonna
playground
try to get to that.
without a child.
Yeah, just for the record. Yeah, we're gonna put that in the disclaimer. Wearing your hair spiky with clips or different colors, or dyeing your hair.
Cringe.
Fun.
Depends on the cringe on the levels. It might be slightly cringe.
Yeah, I mean you're rolling to work with blue hair. I mean that'd be a little different story.
I
but
mean, if it's crazy hair day, fun. But
it's always crazy hair day when I live, buddy.
Right. Right,
All right,
but
we're
then
mixing
I'm like
that
thinking like
one.
some like the kid like hair bows, like I don't know, like I seen like some street fashion people who could wear it and they look amazed, and then I see some people who like legit like I'm wearing this sparkly bow today, and it's like a little cringe.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So don't put on your jelly flip-flops because it may not be the time to do it.
Right.
All right.
Mixed reviews on that one.
All right, and then we talked about like kid dinners, nuggets and fries, self-care.
Yeah, I mean, why do you? I totally think that's fun because sometimes when you go to restaurants, you just may want chicken fingers and French fries. Why do you have to have a steak?
I
or
feel like
a sea
chicken
bass or
fingers
something?
are the adult versions of a nugget. So if you do chicken fingers, then it is fun. If you're doing nuggies,
That's true.
it is cringe.
Repping your favorite band or movie or hobby in a t-shirt.
Fun.
I say it's just fine.
Yeah, that's fun.
Look at us. Look at us. So mature. And it's a beautiful thing at it. So I think we had a good chance to talk about all the things that make us so happy to do these things that we do when you're younger, or even doing things that are quote unquote kid-like when we're older. You could be, you don't need to have a recital to learn piano. You don't need to have a child with you to ride a slide. No, actually, you probably should. But, when it comes to buying Legos, you have fun. You get out there. You get your box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You sing in the car with your kids' friends. And because being playful is being part of being a whole person. But I think it's now time for us to shift on over to our next part of the show. It is called Time to Unplug. This is where I trip over my words and do it 4 times, but this is where we talk about things that are going on outside of our children. I did it, guys, because sometimes usually that comes across as like, it's me. This is where we talk about things that are going on outside of our children, because sometimes we just have, this is a part, because sometimes we just have to have, that's why, no, who says have to have? That's why I always sound like Mario, because sometimes we just have to have something for ourselves or with our spouses. In season 5, we'll probably figure it out. It gives us a chance to decompress because it'll be a better we if you take care of me. Sarah D, what do you have to have?
Oh, so
we did a dual one. We doubled that, didn't we?
We did, but I think we have to because this is thematic to the keeping things childish. So Stranger Things,
like Will the Wise.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I had to watch the latest season. It's something G and I usually watch, but I got the green light to watch without him because he wants to hold off and wait and watch and binge it all at once. And I'm like, no, sir, how do you live under a rock during this whole time? But I think because we're like surrounded by people who like love it. So I had to watch, and it was amazing.
It was so good, right?
Yeah.
It was really so good.
Yeah. The whole thing, like we were talking about before the show, was like some people, I don't know if you felt this way, if you guys at home were like, what you're expecting, because the end of season 4 set things up in such a way where like it seems like they only could have Sarah kind of pointed this out. They could have only really gone about it one way. Like things were so big. I don't want to ruin the show for people. So there was so much events that happened at the end of season 4 that I'm sure everyone was wondering, how are they even going to go into season 5 with this whole thing? And it seemed like they kind of made a way to make it work. And initially it feels a little different than the other seasons, but it quickly sets yourself up for like the right tone, the right feeling, the jokes, the kids, the plot, the serious moments. But the characters are great. I think it's so awesome.
Yes.
I love Robin. I love like, Steve. All the characters are like,
Yeah.
They didn't like overdo them. They're not like almost like cartoons of themselves, like they would be in another show. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're handling it really, really well so far.
Yes.
Do you feel
and I
so
think
too?
like you see like the character growth and progression, like, because Julian actually had watched it as soon as it dropped. So like one of his like biggest critiques is like Dustin. He's like, oh, he's annoying me right now. I'm like, but he's finding his way. I'm like, like they have just grown so much,
Yes.
like as characters, and obviously physically they look like they're 25 now.
Really? They've finally gone full 90210. Now they're all 30 years old, depending on 13.
But,
or 16, whatever this would be.
But like, I just think they're doing just such a good job with this show. I love it. They've just found the right mix of nostalgia and like Goonies and all that kind of stuff, and they're still keeping that there, I think.
But you bring up a good point. Like the characters, they all remain friends and still look out for each other, and they all kind of like sort of went on their own path. Like you saw a little bit like earlier in Stranger Things with like them kind of being done with playing games together and playing D&D and being in the basement because like all these other things started happening. But like Lucas, having the sports side of him, like going and becoming a jock, and then the other guys of like Mike just, I guess, wanting to join Weezer. I don't know. They all kind of went in their own different paths, and they kind of like, but they still remain true to themselves, but also be like the friends they are because of this. Well, probably because of this crazy thing that keeps happening in their lives. But they're great, and like, oh man, and like, I'm glad that Murray's still in it with Hop and everybody else. Like, it's just so funny.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
So if you are, you know, I guess if you're living under a rock and you haven't been to Target and you haven't seen everything everywhere with different theme Eggos, there are 4 episodes that posted on the day before Thanksgiving, and they're pretty, some are long. They're not movie length episodes. Some are a little bit longer than others. They're usually about an hour to an hour and 50 minutes. And then there's 3 more that I believe are coming out on Christmas Day.
Yes.
It could be or Eve. And then one last one is on New Year's. Is it Eve? I think it's New Year's Eve, right?
I don't know.
I think it is New Year's Eve. You're right.
And that's the finale. So like that, we don't know what that's going to be. That could be a full movie length episode. It probably will be. So in total, there'll be 8 episodes. And 4 are done, 3 more to go, and then 1 more finale. So it's good, man. I really, really dig it. I love these characters. I love what they're doing with it. They're supposed to be doing, allegedly, the creators of the show are doing Stephen King, The Talisman. They're supposed to be doing that as a show, which is really cool because it's a great book for those of you Stephen King fans out there. And if you're not a Stephen King fan, I wasn't. The thing about Stephen King books is that not all of his books are, well, obviously they're not all horror, and they're not all like short stories like The Green Mile. He actually has a few books that are more of like adventure kind of books. And The Talisman, although it has its moments, it's a different kind of feel. It kind of it makes sense that the people that make Stranger Things would make this really well too. So might be something kind of cool to put on your radar. All right. Well, Mike Levine, my friend, there's a blank box. We don't know what you're going to say right now. This is wild. This is unknown territory.
I like to keep it fresh.
Yes, the reveal.
Here comes a fresh.
Yeah. So my one thing is, I don't know if you guys, for those who actually probably not too many people play, but I have a video game that I want to talk about, and that video game is World of Warcraft. But what in World of Warcraft,
thematic.
there was a new update, and it was kind of like this Sims update kind of thing where you have to you can now create your own home and stuff. So, well, the cool thing is it's like mixing Sims and World of Warcraft. So you have like this like kind of fantasy home building thing. So it's been really kind of relaxing building my own home.
Oh my God. Wait, this is so funny. Wait, hold on, Mike Levine. I have to just interrupt for 2 seconds. So like we used to play this game a lot. Like we were, oh my God, like for a long time. And Mike Levine and I would joke around and we would joke around that we were playing paper dolls because we would play the game and it allowed you to do this thing where like you make your character stronger, you go on adventures or whatever. And then like you could do this thing they came out with like years ago where like you can change the way that your character looks. So if you pick up a piece of armor or whatever, you look a certain way, you can make it look like something you already have in your collection. So like, so it was transmogrify. Yep. That's my geek crate. Yep. So we would get so excited and be like, oh my God, I want to look this way. I want to get this thing. And then we would do that. But now this is a whole different level. So now you have your own house and you're like making your own, oh man, tell me more. Tell listeners why it's okay to be geeky.
Exactly. So now, I can't really I don't have an office in my own home, but now in my World of Warcraft home, I have an office and it's got like the coolest things in it. It's got like a throne. It's got a dragon's head in it that I took out a long time ago called Onyxia. Oh, it's really fun. So I have my own little fantasy home now in one of my old nostalgic fantasy games. So
I like that. That is the best and saddest thing I've ever heard. So I don't have a room in my own house. So I built my office inside of World of Warcraft. Oh my God, that is really funny. Oh, it cracks me up. Oh, it's so funny.
So that's me in a nutshell. What about you, Mike? What do you got going on?
Oh man, no. Sarah and I were straight up Stranger Things. We didn't want to take away from you. We don't have a virtual office, so that worked out really well. Oh my god. So I think we're just about out of time here. It has been so much fun hanging out with Mike and Sarah on season 4, episode 1, as we talked about staying young, watching out for the cringe, or embracing it. Who cares? And we learned a couple things today. Is you could sing with your kids' friends? Probably not. Who knows? And of course, we learned, and most importantly, is never lose your dinosaur and eat children's cereal. We'd like to take a moment to thank our listeners and supporters for donating to the show. If you'd like to support this show so we can keep making episodes like this one, we have a link to donate in the show notes. If you don't have the means to do so, we'd really appreciate it when you tell your friends, your family about this podcast so we can reach more listeners. Maybe we can learn from them, they can learn from us in our growing community. Send us an email, send us a voicemail, let us know what's going on. If you get a chance, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We can't wait to explore this parenting thing with you next week on Hey the Parents, because every week it's an honest discussion about raising kids. Don't forget to hug your kids and charge those Chromebooks. That's going to do it for me, for Sarah, and for Mike, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey the Parents is produced by Mike Levine, Sarah Desravines, and me, Michael Haidt. I edit and mix our show. Our intro voice recording was done by the one and only Coltrane. If you like our show, we hope that you consider going to our show notes and help support the podcast. Check the show notes for social media information and contacts. We look forward to seeing you next time.